I mean, I got a red light going, so that's a good sign, right? Welcome to Cyclops is Waiting for Me, an X-Men animated recap podcast with Wolverine and the X-Men, episode 15, Hunting Grounds. I'm JC, and we are doing this like once a month right now because of how we're posting this year. And holy shit, I feel out of practice because I feel like the last one we did was like more than 4 weeks ago. So, yeah, we're just going to get the rust off.
And I'm Rod, and I'm more tired than I've been in about a decade. I'm working on a big project right now that sounds mysterious, has nothing to do with this podcast. It does have to do with music that I love, but it's also working at a cadence for like the last week, and in the upcoming 3 weeks, I'll only be able to sleep like every other day or so. But it's great. So we're going to see. And I watched today's episodes, or today and next time's episodes, while eating lunch today, several hours ago. So we're going to see how this goes.
I was going to say, that's way earlier than you normally do. Is any of the music project live by the time this goes live Monday morning?
Not that I know of.
Okay, then we won't talk about it and get you in trouble.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's like that. The thing is, like, it's with something where after I make the music, I don't have control of the distribution or any of that stuff. So I don't know if it's gonna be like weeks from now or years from now. Like there's a bunch of music coming out maybe like in a couple of months from now that I worked on 2 years ago.
So what about the podcast interview you have going live though?
Oh yeah, thanks.
That's what I was referring to.
Okay.
Holy shit, this is gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah, you're working with Delusional Rod. So by the time you're hearing this, this is coming up Monday. So
yes.
By now, a few days back on the Friday, my interview with Britta Phillips, who is the singing voice of Jem from Jem and the Holograms, will be live. Hopefully, it's going well. I always feel like I'm really like a really awkward interviewer because I'm not an interviewer and just like a musician that fell into this space. But I'm always like comfortable talking to musicians about their stuff. And Britta's been singing for 40 years, and she sounds amazing. Like she sang this song when she was in her 20s. It's been 40 years and she still sounds the same. It's insane. But we had a really great talk. Also, kind of a milestone for me is this is the first time I actually got to record in like a podcast studio with staff. So if you're like, wow, this looks really great, don't get used to it.
And don't expect that shit to come over here.
I'm so spoiled. I can't go back, even though I'm going to have to. I'm just going to like think about that day over, because all I had to do was show up and be nervous, not have to like be nervous and also screw up the lights and the camera and all that stuff. I just like got there and did it. So it was a lot of fun. We reacted to some covers like normal, but also so this was in conjunction with Hasbro Toys. And my contacts at Hasbro and also Britta didn't know about a certain Beyonce clip from like either the late 90s or early 2000s. And so like one of the revelations was that Beyonce was a huge Jem and Holograms fan, which when I say kids, but the kids are in their 20s now, who don't know who Jem is like, yeah, because Beyonce's about my age. Like anybody that, grew up in the 80s, in a significant part of the 80s, like I was, I don't know, like 5 or 6 when the show was on. And so was Beyonce. Like that was part of our zeitgeist, it was like Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Jem and the Holograms. And so it's like, it's just wild that part of what we talked about was because I was so young, I wasn't buying albums and stuff yet. Aside from my parents' music, Jem and the Holograms and stuff on TV was probably my first exposure to pop music. So I don't know. Anyway, so it's something to look for. It's on my main channel. You could look it up at YouTube and Spotify to watch the video, and then all the other podcast platforms is for audio. And there's also going to be like a fire hose of like clips coming out from Hasbro and the Loyal Subjects. It's a collaboration with them too. I'm forgetting all kinds of things. Anyway, yeah, look out for that, especially if you're a Jem and the Holograms fan. And also, there's a big drop for their vinyl at San Diego Comic-Con, which I will not be there for, but if you are there, look out for them and G.I. Joe, and you're going to be in line for some G.I. Joe stuff, right?
I don't know what lines at time of recording that I've gotten in the lottery, because they, to now prevent people from just like storming booths and being lunatics, they actually do like a lottery the same way they do with the hotels.
Okay.
So by the time of recording, midnight tonight is when the lottery closes, and people will find out what they get within the next few days. So,
ooh, that sounds fun. All right. Well, anyway, this podcast, Cyclops is Waiting for Me, is our bi-weekly podcast series where we're going back and watching every single X-Men animated episode we can find. This podcast started with the original 1992 X-Men the animated series, building up to the release of X-Men 97. Along the way, we completed X-Men Evolution and launched our companion interview show, the Xavier Files. And now that we have it confirmed that Season 2 of X-Men 97 will be dropping in 2026, we're dedicating this year to all of Wolverine and the X-Men.
Some quick reminders. We are a recap show about a series that started over 15 years ago. There are going to be spoilers. If you don't want it spoiled for you, pause the podcast, watch the episode, and come back. We are not currently sponsored by or affiliated with Marvel Animation, Disney, Disney Plus in any way.
And don't forget to follow us on social media at Cyclops IWFM Pod on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Facebook. And at the time of recording, TikTok is still here. I think we're a little bit safer on that now.
Oh, yeah, I should update that for the next episode.
Well, I say that, but also just gesturing at the general state of the world, anything can happen. But for the first time, I think, since this TikTok debacle started, we're a little bit more clear on what's happening. But we should be good for the next few months, maybe. But who knows? I don't know. Whatever.
I just went and adjusted the script for the next episode so I don't forget and then have an awkward moment. And then before we hop into the episode itself, some very important San Diego Comic-Con mentions. First and foremost, after missing him at Comic-Con Revolution in 2025, Ray Chase, the voice of Cyclops, is appearing at the Unknown Comics booth. So I will get to meet Cyclops for the very first time finally.
Oh, nice.
And I'm very excited to finally get to meet him. Through a mutual friend, I know that he is aware of our show and he's already been gifted one of our pins.
Oh, fun. Has he listened to the episodes?
I have no idea, and I'm scared for him to listen to any of your original animated series episodes.
Speaking of, I got this shirt at Universal. Mr. DNA. It's not from this show, but it's in the Cyclops blue.
It's in Rod's Cyclops lore. Also, in addition to Ray, and I know Cal has been announced, as well as Allison Seeley-Smith, who are also going to be on the Unknown booth. I don't know what the final count of people who are going to be there is. We are co-hosting a cosplay meetup along with the crew from the Uncanny Experience. It is going to happen on Sunday, July 27th at the Marriott Fountain at the Marriott Marquis. It's going to happen following the How To Group cosplay panel that some of our friends of the show, Chrissy Lynn, Jacqueline Goner, Dare Taylor, and Ashlyn Day are doing. The panel is at 1:00. We are going to be meeting up at that fountain to do pictures, hang out, etc. at about 2:30-ish is what I think it's going to all come to be. So if you're down in San Diego for Comic-Con and you're an X-Men cosplay, please join us. And if you want to just hang out and take pictures, please do. So
very fun. I will be whatever mutant has the invisibility power.
You're Forget-Me-Not.
Okay, there you go. Because real Rod is going to be crashing out on a deadline back in LA that time.
Yeah. I didn't even ask Rod, are you going to come down to it? I just said, hey, can you help me make the graphic for this?
Yeah.
But now, finally, after still under 10 minutes somehow.
Yay.
That was a meaty intro, and we're still not even at 9 minutes. On to the show. Today, we are talking about Season 1, Episode 15, titled Hunting Grounds. It aired on August 7th of 2009, currently sits at a 7.4 star rating on IMDb, and it is not one of the second highest rated episodes of the series. That is just me having issues with scripts when it comes to Mojo episodes, I'm pretty sure.
I was going to say, I should have known from the title that this would be a Mojo episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know what I thought it was going to be. Maybe I was just used to Evolution having nonsensical titles.
Yeah, and they never went for puns or anything like that. But of all the episodes where there is a they said the thing moment, it makes sense that it would happen in the Mojo episode.
Yeah. I guess now, though, this has become a tradition, right? Every iteration of an animated X-Men show needs to have at least one Mojo makes a TV show episode, right?
Was there one in Evolution?
Oh, wasn't there not?
I don't remember. I don't think there was a Mojo in Evolution.
Okay. Maybe it's just because I saw it in this 97 and 92.
And also, we watched the Mojo episode of 97 when we took a break from Evolution. So maybe that's a piece of it.
That's probably what happened.
How your brain is gelling it all together.
Yeah, don't turn 40, kids. It's it's not good for your brain.
So the episode starts off. It is recapping where Nightcrawler is heading to Genosha and the pirate ship attacks them. Mojo says that he must have them. And then obviously we get the, welcome to Genosha with Magneto and his failed teleportation escapes from it. Going into the actual episode, it starts off with a weird visual that we get revealed is Kurt walking on the ceiling with his bare feet, which I didn't think was in his power set to just be able to Spider-Man walk around the ball. But with the hair like pointed straight up, it kind of gave me a little bit of like Legion vibes, like the hair just like sticking straight up until you realize it was, gravity doing its thing. So
See that? Have we seen those orbs before, or was that new?
That felt new to me.
Okay, I was making sure I wasn't making that up. It's funny because I don't know if you've ever been to a circus where they do this, where they have like the sphere and then the people with the motorcycles go in.
I have seen it many times on TV, but I have never been to one in person.
Yo, I saw one in person right before the pandemic. That is way more terrifying than you think it would be. Like in person, you just think you're going to watch a contained auto crash.
Yep.
But there's somehow, averted. But anyway, like I don't know if they were thinking of this, but like it fit because it was Kurt's like whole like past with like the circus and stuff and everything. Like I still don't know about the walking on the ceiling, but I guess whoever's doing the show is like, I don't know, he's like a bird person or something. Sure.
It has like a weird echo effect, and you realize that Wanda is outside, and she asks if it's okay for her to read to him. And for a second, I thought he was like shrunk down in a snow globe. For some reason, like at the very beginning, I was just like, this is a weird ball thing that he's walking around in. And obviously that's not the case. And she's like, well, I tried talking to Dad again.
Are they supposed to be kids in this one? I know Nightcrawler kind of is.
I got like 23-year-old vibes. So they're adults, but they're not like super mature.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wanda is acting more of like a teenager than the Wanda from Evolution. Maybe Wanda in Evolution is more angsty, but like this Wanda is more of like a daddy's girl. I could have sworn, maybe I'm just conditioned because of the MCU. When she was holding a book, like I had this like gut reaction. It's like, it's a Darkhold. It's not, but like
not yet. No,
it's just weird because they always put like nondescript text, so it's just like scribbles. It's like whoa,
which very much looks like the Darkhold. Yeah. And it's like Magneto's not going to let him out. He can't, because if people find out what's going on there, the mutants who should be coming would stop going. And it was like kind of like obviously very loaded intentional language, but I appreciated Kurt calling out the bullshit, like
pretty dark stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see, or you hear Wanda gets sort of like bamped away, and then a portal vortex thing opens up, and Spiral grabs him from behind and pulls him into it.
And you're like, oh, this is gonna be a Mojo episode.
Yeah. I think it got spoiled for me on IMDb for some reason, but yeah.
I like how this addresses something you said either an episode or a couple episodes back. You're like, where the fuck is Nightcrawler? We haven't seen him in episodes.
Dude, there are multiple things that I've either called out or I've made a bad prediction, and we'll talk about that in the next episode, that these two episodes decided to like bring back and haunt me with. So, yeah. And then we get the first time we see Polaris talking, and she's in street gear. Basically, she's not in like a super suit or anything like that. And she's asking Magneto, what has happened to Wanda? And you find out that Pyro snitched.
Yeah, she tattles on Pyro. Also, Polaris is pretty young in this, right?
This version of Polaris feels like a 12-year-old to me.
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of was it Anna from Frozen? Like, it's like the little sister to Elsa.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to... Yeah. Yeah, very much like, I don't know how the world works vibes. I am super sheltered and don't know what's going on.
But she's drawn like older than she acts, so I don't know if that was intentional or just like a superhero thing, or if it's supposed to be a little bit dark where it's like she is older but she's been so sheltered
That she's a little bit simpler. Yeah. And I could see that considering where we know the next episode goes with her. So.
Yeah.
But the first thing that came to mind is like, oh, Magneto's going to murder Pyro.
Yo, yeah.
So you go down into where the cells are that we saw in that previous Welcome to Genosha episode. And it's still weird calling the character Seamus, considering he's just like this troll looking thing.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember who that was.
Yeah.
I had like monster person in all my notes here.
Yeah, that was it's because of wrestling that the name Seamus is ingrained in my skull. The wrestler who is Seamus was the actor who played Rocksteady in the Michael Bay Transformers, just for context.
Oh, Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Okay.
Not Transformers, sorry. Yeah, Ninja Turtles.
My brain's already fried, and I was like, wait a minute, something's not right about that statement.
Yes.
I was going to say, like, I don't like that Ninja Turtles. But I was like, but I do like Transform. Oh, no. Okay.
Yep. And Magneto's basically like, go out, turn over every stone, find him, because he's under the assumption that Kurt has kidnapped Wanda. And then the two of them run off, and it's like, yeah, you're fucked, dude. And they gave you that like little moment of I'm opening up the cell to show that Kurt's not in it. And it's like, oh, Pyro's going to be sealed up there for forever now.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious what the game plan with that is. I mean, this is cartoon logic, but it's like they'll just die in a few days, right?
I think that's what he wants.
Okay.
I think he's totally okay with that. Like I can't trust you with my top secret shit because you said it to my daughter.
Yeah.
And we also know that like he's like hyper protective of Polaris or Lorna in particular. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And he just throws him in the cell, and it's like, cool, goodbye, Pyro. Also, last time we ever see Pyro in the series.
Oh, really?
So okay, that's the only negative on doing research on like some of the wikis is it says first appearance, final appearance.
Oh, nice.
And it said final appearance next to Pyro.
Okay, so Pyro does die in this.
Yeah. My lore is if they don't show him again before this series hits its ending, he's dead.
Yeah.
Kurt and Wanda end up dropping into a forest from Spiral's portal things. And Kurt's like a little bit like coy about it. Like there was something with the writing of this episode that I was like, I didn't love. She's like, did you do this? He's like, no, but I know who did. And says Spiral. And it's like, it's not, I know who did. It's like Spiral literally grabbed him. Like the phrasing of it was weird. Like it's not a mystery to him who teleported them there because he literally had a knife to his throat.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I felt, was it 6 arms? Is that how many she has?
Yes.
Or yeah, it's like yep. The very few beings I know that has those combination of powers.
Mm-hmm. And also puts a knife to his throat.
Yeah.
Yep. You see the little like drone ball things come out to start filming them, and they try to teleport and escape. But then you see big giant Mojo in the sky, where we got a lot better look at the character compared to his first appearance on there.
Still gross.
Somehow grosser to me than the other version,
especially because like he's a little bit more HD than we saw in the previous shows, but so you can see all the things pulling his eyes away and stuff. But more so for me, like a little bit later when they show him like dropping into his like spider legs, he's just like a blob. Oh, like
yeah, without
any legs.
Like I assumed he didn't have legs for whatever reason, but I didn't think it was like a fucking what's the kid's toy that like you could bop it and it just keeps like the punching bag thing? Like he just had a rounded bottom that dropped into that thing. Yeah,
and it's kind of not very many people saw this movie, but if you were one of the few that saw Elio, it was kind of like the evil aliens in Elio in their true form. They were like these blobs that went into like machines that made them more intimidating and stuff. But yeah, it was like weird. It was a really, to me, it was kind of a similar energy to Quantum Mania when you saw what's his face get dropped into a suit and you saw his little butt. Modoc, yeah, get dropped in. It was like one of those like kind of like jump scares that was like a split second and stuff. So like you see this like little blob dropping, you're like, what? Why didn't he see that?
Yep. Mojo does the exposition drop, and that's where you get he said the thing. He says that they're on an episode of Mojo's Hunting Ground. And Kurt is there to save the damsel in distress. Wanda's pissed about it. And, you know, he basically is like, oh, yeah, she's the love of your life. And they have that awkward moment of like, no.
I love those moments in shows where they force characters to like define their relationship like on the spot in public.
Like what we got a lot from Cyclops and Jean in X-Men Evolution.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say like timely reference, but as of today, like the whole Coldplay Kiss Cam thing happened.
Jesus Christ.
Very similar kind of thing, actually. Very public spectacle.
That is, the internet works fast, man. Like, holy crap, they got that real quick.
Two things I love about this is a little side note. I love that the quote-unquote apology letter from that dude, his takeaway was that we need to respect people's privacy in a stadium. You said the internet works fast. I was thinking in other ways, because every like major outlet, like I think Billboard and stuff, has been like, for no other reason, here's a highlight of Coldplay's top 10 songs. It's like, guys, this is awesome.
Here's the only thing I have to say about it. I'm not justifying anybody cheating. I'm not saying anything is okay. If you're in a scenario where you're going to cheat and somehow end up on camera, don't react to it, because that is the only reason that people started looking more into that person.
Yeah.
If they had just like waved to the camera and the camera moved on, it would have been a nothing moment.
Yeah, I didn't watch the actual clip until like right before we started recording this, because it popped up in my FYP, and like I didn't know that Chris Martin actually said, unless they're having an affair or something,
or they're shy, one of the two.
Yeah. I was like, that's hilarious. Yep. But it's the second time that's happened to like a very public affair in like the like what past like post lockdown world, which is wild, at a concert.
And again, those clips only go viral if people react in the clip. Like, if you just have the regular somebody kisses somebody on the cheek, nobody ever fucking sees that.
Yeah, or just don't go to a concert in a stadium if you're trying to hide something.
I don't know, man.
It's wild.
Again, I'm not justifying it, but I'm also saying they made dumber mistakes than they needed to during it. So, I do also love that Mojo calls out, I need them to stay alive for 52 minutes because of commercial breaks.
Yeah, that had to have been some frustrated writer, right? Like calling out because they.
But the math doesn't work out for TV time. That's the funny part.
Oh, really?
So, because of my time at WWE, each hour for commercials was 44 minutes of content. Because we'd have to time out where commercial breaks would fall between promos and stuff like that. So 44 is ingrained in my skull.
Nice. And this was around the same time, right? So it would have been like
this. I was literally on the tail end of my WWE time when this was being written.
Okay, so it's not even like a time difference. Wow, I wonder why they picked 52 minutes then.
Yeah, that part I don't know. But yeah, that was like stuck in my skull. I was like, 52 minutes for commercials. I'm like, does he just have like really shitty sponsors on his channel or something like that?
I love the little wink they gave to everybody though, where like Mojo's like, yeah, she'll be the damsel in distress because like everybody else knows who she is.
Yeah, she's the end of mutants in certain storylines.
Yeah, and he's like, and Kurt's gonna be the one.
Yeah,
that's.
I didn't see when I was looking up the credits. I'm curious who the announcer voice was, because it very much was like TV announcer commercial guy.
Oh yeah.
Then we get the Reavers who attack, and I am pretty sure at least one of those was a repeat Reaver, the one with the skull mask, the one who looked like a wannabe Predator, who is Skullbuster. And then the other ones are so unimportant that they don't have a clickable profile on the fandom pages.
That's funny. They do kind of come across as like goon action figures, right?
Very much so. And one of them kind of reminded me of that Gauntlet character from X-Men Evolution a little bit.
With the gun hand thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, because that was my only note about this was like Nightcrawler gets zapped trying to disarm the goon, but they never really explain why that happens. It's just like Nightcrawler proofed or something. Like all the technology in this thing is
I'm gonna have to go with the villains learned something approach, because that was a part of why Nightcrawler was able to defeat them on the boat for the first time before they got abducted, because he did literally, I hate saying it, disarm somebody. But then he also made the joke too, and it worked against him, so I was happy because fuck your pun. But right before that happened, that's where you see the Mojo getting dropped into his, leg chair thingy. So
yeah, it's so unnecessary. I mean, I guess it was necessary to make him grosser, but ugh.
Before the bad teleportation thing happens, I did like how Wanda was like, she doesn't want to run, just wants to fight. And it's basically like her sticking to her dad's guns because it's, Magneto would not let a mutant be treated like this. And Kurt makes kind of like the wishy-washy argument of like, well, it's not a human treating us like this. And it's like, that doesn't make it better, dude.
Yeah. That was a surprisingly like inspirational speech from Wanda. She was like, so what, we run until we're too tired to fight, or we fight now while we have the strength? I'm like, damn, girl.
Yeah, all right. She nails it. Which is funny because a lot of the personality of Wanda here feels very similar to Lorna in comic versions of her. Like Lorna is a fighter in the comics, and here she's like that, spoiled, sheltered kid kind of vibe, Mm-hmm. Yeah, or at least like blissfully unaware kid.
It's so wild. Like Magneto in this episode keeps those two so separated that I have a hard time still picturing them as sisters.
And then they have their brother who is, fucked off across the ocean, stuck in New York. So they're running after the failed pun, and they end up running into a wall. And I'm not even going to pretend. I was not expecting them to be in an underwater dome.
That was a neat reveal. I almost thought like, wow, is this where they got the WandaVision story from, being in the Hex?
Oh,
interesting. Very similar, except the underwater thing. That was kind of fun. That did give it that hopelessness, though. I was trying to remember because my brain is mush. I was like, because Nightcrawler says like I can't teleport anywhere, I can't see. I was like, was this the same show where he just zipped across the ocean? I think it was.
But he was always above the ocean.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, it wasn't that. But he's like, he didn't quite know that. I think the first Banff, he didn't quite know where he was going to land. But he just like chanced it, and so like this time, the water was like, okay, yeah, so we're somewhere deep. If we're on the floor of an ocean, it's deep enough.
Yeah, that if you teleport outside, the pressure's just going to destroy you.
Or you just don't know. You couldn't like necessarily keep going up because you don't know where.
Yeah, you don't know how quickly you could get up there. Although I think somebody in our comment section, and apologies if I'm messing this up, I think somebody basically started doing the math of how fast he would have been traveling or something that in one of our comment sections. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Entertaining. So I do love our YouTube comment people thing, and like, we say it at the end of every episode, but we do read every single comment. We just have brains for mush right now when it comes to remembering details like that. So please continue to do that because I like going in and reacting with people. And Rod is just in charge of the TikTok.
I have so much going
on. But I do like how he does phrase it to Wanda of like, yeah, because stuff could get messy, I think was his phrasing, if he teleports where he can't see. So
I love that. I was like, you might like appear with like a, I guess in this sense, like a coral reef through your stomach or something.
Mm-hmm. I did like that she decides to turn around, start fighting, and then breaks the shield with her hex powers or whatever they are. So
yeah, really cool. So Wanda starts kicking ass while Mojo eats maggots.
Yep. Yeah. That was disgusting. There's like, I know it's animation and stuff like that, but I recently watched like some episode of Hell's Kitchen. Okay. Where they had to like sort through the garbage as a part of their punishment, and they made sure to get a shot of like maggots crawling out of the garbage in the LA heat, and that like was within the last week that I rewatched that episode, and it's just like like just grossest vibes ever.
We're also in that season of LA summer where it's not quite so hot. There's like a major heat wave, but it's like hot enough that like ants are like reclaiming buildings, including my place.
Oh, are they? I've yet to see that in my development, so I'm hoping it's
you have some like cool like prevention stuff. Like I'm in one of these like
I've still had to deal with ants though.
Yeah, well that's the thing. Like most people don't know about LA. There's a movie called there's a TV show called Dave, where it's a Little Dickie's show.
Yeah.
And there's one episode where his label rents him like a mansion in the hills to record his album, and there's like ants everywhere. I was like, that is such an accurate LA. No matter where you live or how nice, you will have ants at some point. Maybe not every summer, but at some point.
And what Rod is referencing, when I got this place, it literally has a thing that exterminators are able to plug into the wall and spray the entire inside of the house with, like without ever having to come inside of my house. And still at one point I had ants for like 6 days and was going absolutely insane. Yeah,
it's crazy especially because like I have a little darkness over here. So if like a single like morsel of food drops from her mouth onto any nondescript part of the house,
Yep.
it becomes like a smorgasbord for ants, and I find out about it when I wake up in the morning and see like the colony that is formed in my living room or something.
And they always take the longest path possible, so it goes across the entire place to get there.
Yeah, although I am kind of grateful for that, because if I can follow it, then I use those little liquid ant bait traps, and you put that in the way of their path.
Yep.
You have to deal with more of them for like a day, but like, man, that gets rid of them.
But speaking of guests, that is where Mojo's like, well, time to call the Reavers back. We have our featured guest ready to go. And I was not... Like, here's the thing. The obvious thing is you do Wolverine for this. I was hoping it was going to be some other, like, wild X-Men cameo.
Oh, I get what you mean. I thought it was going to be some, like, clone or, you know, X-23 story or something, or something.
Or, like, there is a character who I know I should have written the name down. There is a version that is a clone, evil version of Wolverine, and he's, like, more, like, cyborgy and stuff like that. For a second, I thought that it was possibly that character. I was like, oh, wow, that's, like, going for, like, a deep cut. But then, of course, we see his glowing eyes, and then it's back at the mansion, and Bobby is outside reacting to, like, oh, somebody's stupid to attack Wolverine at his house. But it's Bobby, so he neglects to notice that, like, Logan isn't there.
Yeah, I do love that mansion in every iteration gets demolished so many times. That's the normal reaction. Like Bobby, Rogue, and Storm, none of them are upset by the destruction. They're like, oh, it's like us finding ants. They're like, again?
Yeah. I don't know why it took me until now to put it together. You remember how roughly around this same time frame there was that Fantastic Four cartoon that was out?
I didn't watch it, but I think... Well, I don't know if I knew there was one at this time.
So there's the one that was in the same timeline as X-Men, the animated series, and Spider-Man and stuff like that.
Surfer and all that stuff.
Yeah, that one. Then there was a later one that I don't know if it's technically the same continuity as this. I feel like maybe I mentioned it in a previous episode. But Bobby's hair looks literally like one-to-one to Johnny Storm's hair to me from the image.
They reused the model.
I mean, maybe, dude. I'm after this is my reminder of, like, I will find the two characters and put them, like, next to each other, because maybe I'm just, like, Mandela effect myself on it, but it was like, that, why does Johnny look, or Bobby look like Johnny for some reason? But I think it's Storm who's like, but he's not here.
Yeah, it's his bike. Like, that's the sign. He's like, he wouldn't just
yeah, the bike is totally fucked. Then back in the Water Dome, the Reavers are shooting, an alarm starts going off, and the Reavers just run in a direction and then get murdered.
Oh, wait, did I miss that?
Well, they like get attacked in the bushes, but
okay.
I'm interpreting that as murder.
Gotcha. Wait, by Logan dropping in.
Yeah, he basically pulls like the Velociraptors in Lost World 2, where like they jump into the bushes and then all of a sudden like there's a tussle and then there's nothing else after it.
Yeah, this is very like Gladiator style, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Wolverine starts making his way in, and Kurt does is like, it's me, it's Elf, which I still like. I've told you, I love that nickname for Kurt. I've always loved that for him. So
it's pretty cute, yeah.
And that's where they're like, oh, looks like we have to run or fight. And Wanda's like, let's fucking go. Like, it's him or us. Like, she's ready to kill him.
I was gonna say, not just that, she's like, we'll have to like take care of him permanently or whatever.
Yeah, she says permanently.
And Kurt's like, wait, we just jumped like 40 steps. Mm-hmm. And Nightcrawler's like, let's start by trying to get that thing off his head. Because he had like this contraption that was very similar to Mojo's, because it kept his like eyes pried open and stuff.
Yep. I think because when you can't blink, it just makes you angry constantly.
Wouldn't it be funny if that was the only function of the device?
It's just to piss you off so you can't blink.
Yeah, it's like, especially because like a little bit later with like Emma and Cerebro, there's this like, it wasn't, it was Spiral, like reading his vitals. Like, they never really came back to that. But like, it'd be funny if it's like, oh, we got the mind control device off. And Logan's like, mind control device?
He just really wanted to kill Kurt because he disappeared for a few weeks. Kurt also does a really good dig where he's like, yeah, you sound like your dad right now. But yeah, they decide that they want to remove the device. They bamf a few times, and Nightcrawler gets zapped again because he hasn't learned shit in this episode, apparently. Yeah, he actually gets zapped twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's his learning one, right? and then Wanda blasts Logan, but it does like save Kurt, but it just pisses off Logan.
Yep.
Even
and
more.
then the chase starts going on it.
Because it dried his eyes out even more.
And then I think what you were just like alluding to is Spiral's looking at the vitals for Wolverine, and she's like, something's not right now.
So, did you? I thought it was just because I was tired and didn't catch anything, but
they never went back to it.
Okay, because I was like,
I was literally going to point that out. Is that felt like a plot hole in the episode to me?
I was like, were they just trying to say he was feral, or he really just wanted to kill those two?
I interpret it as gone feral, but that they went back on their logic a few minutes later.
Yeah. So okay, sure. I don't know.
I did appreciate after having the recent Weapon X episodes that Mojo gives the phrase that he was made to be controlled. I thought that was actually like really like clever callbacks to the recent episode.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah. And then very quickly we do get in Cerebro where Emma is searching and she can't find him. And I kind of like this version of Cerebro where it's not this all-powerful thing that scans the entire planet in a heartbeat, because she's like, yeah, it's basically this giant grid search. It takes me a while to do it. And Rogue is like, the professor could have done it. It's like, you've been back on the team for 4 minutes. You have to chill.
This was a very like Nicki Minaj versus SZA beef moment. Because Emma's like, okay, we're gonna try this, and it's, or no, yeah, and then Rogue is like, just for no reason, not helpful. just insulting,
just aggro. Yep.
I think that's why I thought it was Emma instead of Spiral before, because these two things happen at the same time. I'm just like,
they're like back to back.
I'm just mushy right now.
Yep. We do get Kurt saving Wanda with another teleport, and he reveals that he's been like looking for a way out with his teleports, and they just see a hatch. And that's his solution, is a hatch.
It sounds like a design flaw, that there was like just an open, disguised door.
Also, if there's a hatch and you're underwater, I don't know necessarily if that hatch is a thing you want to open either.
He's probably like, whatever. Or I guess maybe he might know something that probably leads to like a corridor or something.
I don't know how he would.
I mean, just like, I don't know. I'm trying to assume that like a lot of the X-Men are tactile, I don't know, experts at some stuff.
Tacticians.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he just tells Wanda to hide behind a tree, which again, Wolverine is like this beast that can track by scent, so I don't think the tree makes a difference. He teleports away, and he plans on using Wolverine to like have him hack away at the hatch. Sure.
Yeah, I guess. I forget, like, I thought, like, he was going to do, I don't know. It didn't go the way I thought, but it kind of worked, I guess.
Yeah, he's able to get him to start hacking away on it. And then Mojo is like, fuck this, we're out, pull the plug. And it's just like, he knows some bad shit is going to go down, so he just starts flooding the arena. But he doesn't leave his control booth.
Yeah, which we'll find out later was very easy to do. And
yeah, because they apparently had access to the boat. Yeah,
and the another design flaw, not only does that hatch like lead to, like, it seems like it's very direct to their control room. and
also the control room has really good drainage.
I just like, by then I had given up on
Yep.
I was like, is this made to flood? All the technology in here?
The area starts flooding up, the water level's rising, they start teleporting to a tree, and Logan decides to climb up after them. Wanda's still ready to kill him. Kurt is finally able to just do the same thing a fourth time and actually pull the headpiece off.
That was a little anticlimactic, because there wasn't like something to fix, it was just brute forcing it.
It was like, just expect to be electrocuted more, I guess.
Yeah, just try harder. That's the lesson.
Yep. He's able to teleport away with it. Logan starts to faint. Kurt is able to catch him and brings him up to the branch where Wanda is. And it's essentially that argument of like, he's fine now. I saw it in his eyes. And she's like, she does not trust him with this.
This is one of those like nitpicky things, but like...
I think this is the episode to be nitpicky with, if I'm going to be honest.
Because I think they established it in the Wolverine and the X-Men. I can't remember if it was just another show, but like how heavy Wolverine should be. And both Wanda and Kurt are able to just like kind of pick him up more than a normal person. Even without the adamantium skeleton, a guy that size would be so fucking heavy.
Yeah, I want to say he's like 280 pounds or something like that, canonically.
He's not like the short comic Wolverine. Like in this version, he looks like he's like 6'2" or something.
Yeah, at the very least, he's like 5'9", 5'10", so he's all right. Yeah, and Kurt is like, all right, I'm going to go down and I'm going to finish opening the hatch, which, sure, okay.
It's going to drain out, I guess.
Yeah, and this is the other part where I'm going to get hung up on the episode. Later on, Spiral says, I saw what you did to Wanda, and at the end of the episode, she admits to doing this, where on the branch, he starts to fall back and she's holding onto him and he kind of slips out of her grasp. I didn't read that as let go. I read that as the grip wasn't strong enough and he was able to fall out of her arms, not she intentionally did it.
I'm with you, because when Spiral
it didn't look intentional to me, at least. When
Spiral was like, I saw what you did, and he's like, you did? Because I didn't.
Yeah. I'm like, I watched the episode twice, and I specifically rewatched that segment, and I still didn't see what he did, or she did.
I kind of went back and forth, too, because, like, at first when Kurt left, I was like, ooh, you're going to leave him alone with a woman that just wants to kill him? Mm-hmm. And now she doesn't even have to try. She just has to, like, not try.
Yeah.
And she gives, like, this knowing look over at Logan, and I think that might have been on purpose.
Yeah.
But then then when the hand just slipped, I was like, that had to been like a not very descriptive animation note, right? For whoever drew it, is like, oh, it just slips, instead of like she was.
It wasn't a let go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see Logan start to drift into the water. They are. Kurt is able to get the hatch open, pops up top, doesn't see Wanda, but then to your point, Wanda is able to swim up with the very heavy
metallic skeleton
hex magic. It's got to be hex magic.
There you go. It was a wizard.
Yep. So they're able to start making their way down to the hatch, get sucked into it, and then, just like I said, it goes into the control room, which then has very good drainage, and also Spiral, Mojo haven't left yet.
Yeah, they didn't teleport out, because with the side henge person that
Reavers.
is a teleporter.
Yeah, like she got the Reavers out of there. She actually teleported them. So, and then we get like a little bit of like a quick back and forth. Spiral goes to Wanda, says "Oh, I know what you did," and Rod and I are like, "What did she do?" Because we're confused. Wolverine saves Wanda from being stabbed with his claws, and he gives the I don't know what the hell is going on, but I don't think I like you. Mojo decides to take Nightcrawler hostage, and then really quickly they have the team up, which I always like when powers get used at the same time, where Wanda controls the Mojo tail, which apparently has little needles on the back of it in this version of it, and Wolverine slides underneath and cuts the legs off of his base.
Yeah, it was a fun little team-up moment. And I guess that was supposed to be the thing where, Wanda comes around, right? Because she's like, oh, we got to work together.
Or at the very least, she's like, oh, I kind of like Kurt. Even Wolverine did just save my life, so I probably shouldn't fuck him over in 4 seconds.
I kept forgetting in this episode that those two were kind of a couple.
Yeah, until her dad locked him in jail. No. Spiral is able to teleport everybody away, and then Logan is like, what the fuck is going on? And then there's a very awkward transition because the pirate ship pops up, and I thought the pirate ship was going to reveal Spiral, the Reavers, and Mojo. Instead, it was just that Wolverine, Wolverine, Wanda, and Nightcrawler just ended up taking the boat back to Genosha.
Or I didn't know if that is supposed to be that, or that was the control room that was hooked to the hatch or something.
Maybe.
I mean, we never really saw the inside.
Yeah, we never got the details of how they ended up there and how Mojo actually got out or any of that stuff. Logan's like, oh, should we really be bringing her back? I guess a little worried about what's going to happen to her on Genosha. And Wanda apparently wanted to go back. And then the boat starts shaking, so it's like, cool, Magneto's here, he's pissed. Yeah. And then he finds all the fine points of things to rip off of this thing and make the what was it, the Obsidian Maw scene from Infinity War, where there's just like lots of spiky things pointed in very specific directions.
Yeah, I didn't put that together. I was also thinking like this was very much in like the energy of the Ian McKellen Magneto. You could tell like the teams were kind of getting the same notes right around the same time.
Yeah, but I don't think I remember seeing the Ian McKellen one get like hyper spiky pointed at face.
Yeah. I guess
his was more, I'm going to control a gun and point it at your head.
Yeah, I guess I just mean like it was more of like weaponizing things than like in 92 it was more like stuff was like floating around and stuff.
Yes.
These were all like, I don't know, I felt like it was something that, at least for me who was watching movies and TV shows, like I started seeing more with the Ian McKellen Magneto, just like pointing things at people and stuff.
Yeah, like whether it was like very like polished like melting metal like this version does, or like the Ian McKellen one who is just like, I'm going to control everything, and if it's like sharp and gritty and crappy, I'm going to point it at your skull kind of thing. So, and Magneto is pissed, thinking that it was Kurt and Wolverine who kidnapped his daughter, and she's like, no, you got to let him go. He's like, I will let them go in a cell.
It's like, Dad, I don't think you understand how that works.
Yeah. And essentially she gives the argument of like, look, they saved my life. You got to give them freedom for this. Not the whole, like, we have to be friends, but like, you can't hold this part against them. They literally did save my life.
Yeah, we're even now.
It's kind of like a mafia agreement kind of thing. Like, oh, okay, like your daughter saved my son, so we don't have to shoot anybody today. You know?
Yeah. Tomorrow's a different story. And then that's when Wanda admits to Kurt that she didn't drop Wolverine, she let him go, and was like, wait, this again? Like, I don't
right.
understand.
And then he's like, she basically says like, you taught me like, or helped me realize I didn't have to. And I was like, he dove down into the water and that all happened before he came back. Like, I literally I don't want to call it bad writing, but it was one of the looser segments of the series. So
Kurt's like, you should come with us. I guess he's trying to rekindle that relationship, and she's like, no, I belong here with my father. To me, that was kind of like I'm a bad person too, so this is where I should be. But I love that. I'm sure they didn't mean it this way, but it's funny how it worked out. Also, just me being me. He's like, she leaves my note here. I'm just gonna read it verbatim.
Please.
Wanda leaves Kurt with blue balls. I think we have our clip for the week. And then the Blackbird comes and rescues everybody.
Yep. And Bobby is just a doofus and is like, does he look pissed? I feel like he's pissed. I don't know why they needed the Blackbird or any of the story with them in the episode, because they could have just taken the ship back to New York, I feel like, too.
I don't know, voice acting contracts, minimum amount of episode. I don't know.
I don't know. It was a choice.
I'm never going to argue with more Storm unless it's Halle Berry.
That's true. You will absolutely argue with more Halle Berry, though.
Oh my god. I know she's going to be in Doomsday. I'm going to hate it so much, but like if she dies, I'm cool with it. If
they Taskmaster her, you're going to be so happy.
Oh yeah. And I'll see it like multiple times a day, just like to support.
If it happens in the first 15 minutes of the movie, you're going to be like, I'm going to go to the 8 o'clock showing, the 8:15 showing, the 8:30 showing, and just back-to-backing it just to see that character get eliminated. So yeah, it was an episode. It was very much a Mojo episode. Like I said, I feel like if there was an episode where you could get like a little bit like nitpicky on stuff, this feels like the one that was most open for it, unfortunately. So I wouldn't put this in like my top episodes of this series, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't, not that I especially love the Mojo episodes in any of the series, but this definitely felt like on the lower end of the ones I did see, because I felt the other ones were more grandiose. Like they felt like game shows.
Yep.
Especially the first one, and then the recent one was in '97 was like a video game. Like they had this like sense of adventure to it. This one, it just kind of, if it wasn't for Mojo interjecting, it would have felt like Logan in the woods of Canada escaping something, like...
You know what? That's a really, really thoughtful thing to point out, because it's like, you saw the drones, but there was never the show part of this. Like, there's no audience reactions. There was no, like, early internet, like people are talking about it on message boards. Like there was nothing that was like gave you the impression it was actually a show and being filmed other than the announcer at the beginning. So it felt like a production rather than being like a live event,
Yeah. So I think that's why I didn't get the TV show vibes from it, but yeah, it was fine. It wasn't a complete bottle episode because we got like little points of like where Genosha's at that point,
and we got Kurt like now is finally going to be back fully on the team at this point.
Maybe.
I think he will.
We'll see.
The only one who's not is fucking Angel. Angel is just like, I'm going to come here and throw money and then disappear for 4 episodes.
Oh yeah, we haven't.
He's been gone for a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen his. We saw his dad the last episode or something.
Yes, because we watched that like 6 weeks ago in real time. So yes. Yeah, that's all we got. Just reminders, come say hi at Comic-Con. I'll be there all weekend, and come to the cosplay meetup. So thank you guys for joining us. If you have any thoughts, make sure you drop them into either the comments for either the YouTube upload or the official Instagram post about the show, or the Spotify upload. I really never have updated the ending of our script, have I? And if you like what you heard, we'd appreciate a rating on the podcast app of your choosing. Ratings will help the show get shown to more people. I can say that as a fact. So if you'd like other people to experience this trauma with you of listening to us on a bi-weekly basis, please give us a rating. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, and CastBox.
Don't go to a concert if you're having an affair.
Or do.